ASML stock is up 50% this year, trading at nearly $1,040 a share. And investors are all asking the same question. Can this momentum continue, or are we about to see a correction? Well, here's why I'm watching the stock closely. ASML isn't just another semiconductor company. They're the only company on Earth that can build EUV lithography machines. This is the equipment that every chip maker needs to produce the chips that power AI, smartphones, and data centers. Without ASML, companies like TSMC, Intel, and Samsung cannot make their advanced chips. This is not an exaggeration. It's a monopoly on the single most important step in semiconductor manufacturing, and that monopoly is printing cash. In their latest report, EUV systems made up 67% of their net bookings, 3.6 billion euros. But here's what I think most people are missing, right? The next big catalyst isn't AI hype. It's high-NA EUV, a new system that makes chip making even more precise. And Intel already has the first one, and it could define who wins the next chip war. Because if that rollout hits on schedule, ASML doesn't just benefit from AI demand, they control the pace of chip innovation itself. Hey, what's up? My name is Rick Orford. I've been trading since 1999, and I am not a financial advisor. That's a good thing. I break down the numbers so retail investors like us can make smarter, more confident decisions with our money. I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. And you all know how much I love researching new stocks and trying to find the next best investment. So I'm proud to partner with The Motley Fool to bring you 10 stock picks from their popular product, Stock Advisor. Stock Advisor has beaten the market by almost 6 times. Go to fool.com/ricko to get your 10 stock picks right now. And that's why in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm seeing in ASML's fundamentals, why analysts are calling the stock a strong buy, and the one risk that could flip this stock fast. Let's get into it. ASML is a European technology company. The company was founded in 1984 as a joint venture between two Dutch technology giants, Philips and ASM International. That's nearly 4 decades of compounding innovation. Not hype, just dominance quietly built over time. So what exactly does ASML do? Well, they produce the machines for high-performance computer chip production, right? Specifically, they manufacture photolithography equipment. This is a machine that uses extremely precise beams of light to etch microscopic circuit patterns onto silicon wafers. It's like a high-tech printing press for semiconductors, except it operates at a scale so small that you need a microscope to see what it's doing. It means that ASML literally builds the machines that print the brains of every modern electronic device. Chips so small that billions of transistors can fit on your fingernail. ASML also holds a complete monopoly in what's called extreme ultraviolet lithography, or EUV technology. They're the only company in the world that can manufacture these systems at scale. And this advantage positions ASML as an indispensable link in the global supply chain. Their primary customers are the world's leading semiconductor manufacturers, including Taiwan Semiconductor, or TSMC, Samsung, and Intel. And these are the companies that produce the chips that power our smartphones, our computers, and data center servers, all running AI workloads. So anything that runs a computer, well, they power it. Without ASML's machines, these chip makers simply could not manufacture the most advanced processors that drive modern technology forward. So ASML doesn't just make machines, they make the machines that make modern life possible. Today, ASML has grown into one of Europe's most valuable tech companies with over 42,000 employees worldwide. And of course, all of that market advantage is reflected in ASML stock. Last time I talked about the stock, it was trading at around $800 a share. Now, it's around $1,039 a share. That's a 30% increase in just over a month, which is impressive for a company of this size. Now, most retail investors probably don't realize how rare this kind of move is for a $400 billion company. It's not volatility, it's momentum. Over the last 52 weeks, the stock's been trading between $578 and $1,090 a share. And this year, the stock has gained almost 50%. Now, if we zoom out over the last 12 months, the stock's up around 55%. And if you've been holding ASML stock for over the last 5 years, you'd have gained about 145% on your investment. So ASML hasn't just beaten the market, it's crushed it quietly and consistently. And that kind of sustained growth, it doesn't happen by accident. It happens when a company sits on something the world can't do without. So, will this momentum in the stock continue, or are we looking at the top? I mean, stuff like this comes up all the time in my Discord channel, and I have to say that, the hyperscalers, they're on a spending spree right now. Microsoft has recently invested $30 billion to build out AI infrastructure in the UK. Google invested $15 billion to build their first AI hub in India. And this is just some of the more recent news in AI. Companies are spending billions in AI. And as more companies build AI infrastructure, they need more chips. And every single one of those chips need to be manufactured using, you guessed it, ASML's equipment. So the connection, it's direct. To put it simply, more AI spending means more chips needed, which means more demand for ASML's machines. So ASML is sitting at the center of the AI gold rush. They don't sell the gold, they're selling the shovels. And this isn't a short-term trend either. AI workloads are increasingly demanding. Running an AI query alone today takes about 10 times the computing power of just a regular Google search. That means companies need way more AI chips than regular computer chips. And those chips need to be more powerful and more efficient. And this creates a cycle where AI demand keeps driving chip demand, which keeps driving demand for ASML's equipment. You see, it's a flywheel effect, right? Once it spins, it's nearly impossible to stop. And speaking of equipment, I mentioned earlier that ASML has a monopoly on EUV technology, right? Well, again, ASML is the only company in the world that can make these EUV lithography machines at scale. Nobody else. Not Nikon, not Canon, not Sony, no one. The technology is so complex that it took over 30 years and, of course, billions of dollars to develop. And today, every smartphone processor, every high-end graphics card, every AI chip, any microchip requires EUV lithography. There's no way around it. If you want to make chips smaller than a few nanometers, you need ASML's machines. This means there's an entire advanced semiconductor industry that depends on ASML, and that monopoly translates into billions in revenue. Now, according to their latest quarterly report, their EUV tech makes up 67% of their total net bookings. That's 3.6 billion euros. So EUV is ASML's golden goose, so to speak. The more advanced the world goes, the more their monopoly pays off. But that's not all. Another catalyst is ASML's next generation machine that, you guessed it, is even more advanced. These are called high-NA EUV systems. NA stands for numerical aperture, which is basically a measure of how precisely the machine can focus light. With this technology, their already high-tech EUV lithography has become even more precise. It means that ASML's next machine can print even smaller and more powerful chips, pushing Moore's law further than anyone ever thought possible. See, as chips continue to shrink, high NA will eventually become mandatory, not optional. Right now, chip makers can still use the regular EUV for most applications, but as they push towards the 2-nanometer chips, and smaller, they're going to have no choice but to adopt high NA. And Intel's gotten the first machine. They plan to use it for production starting in 2027. That's the future of chips already in motion. So the real question isn't if high NA takes over, it's how fast. And speed is everything in this industry. So whoever adapts first wins. So with AI spending skyrocketing and high NA EUV on the horizon, ASML might be one of the strongest hands in tech right now. Now, after all that, is ASML stock a buy at these levels? Well, consider this. A consensus among 25 analysts rate the stock a strong buy with an average score of 4.56 out of 5. That's a near perfect rating, and the score has been trending upwards. 3 months ago, it was at 4.32. That means that Wall Street's confidence isn't just high, it's getting better. And when sentiment strengthens during a rally, it usually signals conviction, not speculation. The highest price target among these analysts is $1,200 a share, which suggests about 15% upside. Now, that might not sound huge, but for a mega cap company like ASML, 15% upside can mean tens of billions in market cap. That's some serious money. And I can see why. They've got compelling catalysts, right? Accelerating AI demand, an EUV tech monopoly, and high NA systems. So I'd say that ASML's moat isn't just wide, it's deep, protected by decades of engineering that can't easily be replicated. Of course, there are risks that I'll explore in another video, so be sure to watch out for it, because even great companies have some pressure points, and knowing where those cracks might form is exactly how you stay ahead of the market. But what about you? Do you think that ASML has some room to grow, or is the stock overvalued? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're there, if you found the video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, because it helps others find the video, it supports the channel, and you won't miss out on my next deep dive. Well, that's it for me today in this video. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.